Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. In this video, we'll discuss NVIDIA stock price movement for today and we'll try to make an assessment for rest of the week using fundamentals, technicals, and a stock split analysis. We'll also take a look at SMCI stock. Now, let's get started. You see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. NVIDIA opened at 132.99. It made a high 133.73. It made a low 129.58 and it closed at 130.98. That is 0.68% down. As we predicted on Friday last week that NVIDIA should be moving slow early this week or there is some chance for little correction. So this is what we experienced today. As you noted today, NVIDIA stock price movement was very volatile. There was no clear direction. So lots of ups and downs today. And for tomorrow, I'm expecting the same behavior. NVIDIA should be moving slow or make a little more correction. And for tomorrow, I'm expecting the same behavior. NVIDIA should be moving sideways. And overall, in next few days, I'm expecting NVIDIA to move between 125 to 135, at least for this week. Now, moving on, last 5 days, NVIDIA up 7.5%, last 1 month, 41.6%, and last 6 months is already up 161.54%. So regarding my positions, I did not buy any NVIDIA stock today and also on Friday last week. I'm waiting for more drop on NVIDIA before I jump in. Now let's take a look at stock split analysis and see where does NVIDIA stand compared with historical split data. On your screen, you see the historical split data. Starting today, we entered in the second week after split becomes effective. So in the last split cycle, you see that in the second week, NVIDIA managed to go further up about 6 or 7%. And one split prior, you see that in the second week, NVIDIA still maintained to go up around 6%. So for this week, I'm expecting NVIDIA should end as a positive week. But one thing you notice in this cycle versus the last cycle, between the effective date to 1 week after effective, the last cycle NVIDIA went up 4%. And one cycle prior, NVIDIA went up 1.5% from the effective to 1 week after effective. But in this cycle, you see that from the effective to 1 week after effective, NVIDIA went up 11%. So what I'm trying to say that it's possible that NVIDIA may not jump 6% unlike the previous historical split cycle. Okay, it might be lower than that. Now let's take a look technical charts. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for NVIDIA and also the MACD chart. So as we noted on Friday, MACD started going down and I made an observation on Friday that this should continue to go down on Monday as well. So that's exactly what happened. As of this point, you see that the MACD line going to touch the zero line and it's possible that tomorrow it might cross the zero line. So at this point, I do not see a very strong momentum on NVIDIA for tomorrow. Now let's take a look 30 minutes chart. In the 30 minutes chart, I see the same behavior. The MACD line is started to go down on Friday and continued the same downward momentum. And at this point, it already touched the zero line. So in the short term, you see that more downward pressure on NVIDIA. And this pressure is not too strong, right? Now let's take a look RSI. So RSI at this point in 30 minutes chart is at 44. It went down from Friday. In Friday it was 54. So this tells that the upward momentum is started to go down since Friday. Now let's draw Fibonacci levels. Now you see the Fibonacci levels. I selected the same levels. The lowest level is at 119.2 and the highest I selected the highest point so far and that is 133.29. So based on this chart, you see that the next level of support, which is 23% retracement, is at 129.97. So if Nvidia drops from here, it might try to touch 129.97, and after that is 127.91. On the upper side, the next level of resistance is 133.29. So as of this point, I'm not seeing Nvidia to go and touch 133.29 sometime tomorrow. Now let's take a look at news regarding Nvidia. Now you see the news regarding Nvidia on your screen. Let's take a look at this one. This says that warning flags. Experts say Nvidia in a bubblish territory, points to potential market pullback. Now you see some analysts started talking about Nvidia pullback. Let's take a look. So let's scroll down to Nvidia. So this says that Nvidia has had a banner year in 2024, crossing the 3 trillion market cap. And then it says that Johnson believes that now, while the stock is in a bullish territory, could be a good time to take the profits on its performance. So this analysts think that Nvidia might get a pullback, so it's a good time to take the profit. I do not completely agree to this analysis, but somewhat okay, because we see that in last 3 months or maybe last 1 month, Nvidia has gone up too much. So some correction is due on Nvidia before the next earnings. So now this one that says Broadcom shares are surging, what you need to know. So as we know that Broadcom announced the stock split, and that's a major reason Broadcom shares are going up in the last few days. I had some plan to do a separate video on Avago or Broadcom, so I'll try to find some time to make a video on Avago or Broadcom sometime this week. So most of the news, I see talking about Supreme Court review of crypto sales lawsuit. I guess Supreme Court is taking over shareholders' lawsuit accusing the company of misleading investors about the impact of cryptocurrency sales on its financial performance. This might impact a little bit on Nvidia, but not too much. So this morning, you see that Nvidia was under pressure, but Nvidia recovered in the afternoon. So all the other news regarding Nvidia talks about different projects that Nvidia was able to win or working on. For example, this one, and physical AI, and NVIDIA announces Omniverse, and then this guy. So as of this point, I do not find any negative data or news regarding NVIDIA. So even if NVIDIA goes down in the next few days, I do not expect a major drop on NVIDIA unless some news or data comes up in the next few days that can negatively impact NVIDIA. Now let's take a look at other AI stocks. So starting with the Palantir made the highest positive change today, 6.15%. So right now, Palantir is at 25.02. I made a video over the weekend on Palantir. I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look. So I gave my price target for this quarter. So my price target was about 27.5. So still, Palantir has more room to go further up in this quarter. Now, Avago is 5.41%, and then SMCI 5.08%. As I told you before, I got some SMCI shares last week and I made a good amount of profit today. But I sold SMCI at 917. I guess that was a good decision because after that, SMCI came down. Probably I can re enter an SMCI when it goes down further. And after that, Apple 1.97%, and Microsoft 1.31%, and then Amazon 0.22%. Nvidia, AMD, and SoundHound are negative today. So overall, you see that it's a mixed behavior today. Some AI stocks are up and some are down. So we cannot say that the downward trend on the AI has started. Now let's take a look economic data due this week. You see the economic calendar on your screen. So tomorrow, I do not find any significant data coming up. And also on Wednesday, nothing much. And we have a Juneteenth holiday on Wednesday. And also on Thursday, we have weekly initial jobless claim that might be a little bit important after we got the FOMC meeting. Probably after FOMC meeting, the weekly initial jobless claim might get more importance. And then after that, Friday, nothing much. So this week, as I mentioned before, is not a very eventful week. So I'm not expecting a major drop on the stocks due to any economic data. So that's all about NVIDIA analysis for today and rest of the week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.